رمضان زمان البركات، رمضان زمان الحسنات، رمضان زمان البركات، رمضان زمان الحسنات، رمضان مجال الصلوات، رمضان مجال الصلوات، طوبى للنفس بتقواها، طوبى للنفس بتقواها.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
سيصلى نارا ذات لهب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
وامرأته حمالة الحطب.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
في جيدها حبل من مسد.
صدق الله العظيم.
صدق الله العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to daralburhan's lessons on tajweed. Today's lesson will cover the letter waw. Waw is one of those letters that's seemingly really easy to deal with, but has quite a few different issues that people might fall under. And so it's a little deceptive in that sense. Waw is pronounced as wa, wu, we. Wa, wu, we. Now, the first issue that we'll mention about the letter waw that people fall into has to do with, once again, the lightness of the letter and how it's impacted by the heaviness of a letter that either comes before it or after it. So, a very, very common issue that we run across all the time is when people are pronouncing the words wallahu. They'll say wallahu. The correct pronunciation is wallahu. Wallahu. Don't make the waw become heavy as a result of the heaviness of the lam in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Ism al-Jalala. Make sure that you keep the waw separate. Wa, and keep it light. Wallahu, wallahu. Waw is one of the letters that arises from the lips. And so it's very important that when you pronounce the letter waw, that you circle your lips. You say wa. People sometimes fall into the issue of saying wa, wallahu, wa, we, without any kind of circling of the lips. And so it's vital for the pronunciation of the waw that you circle your lips to properly pronounce it. Otherwise, it comes out a little bit distorted and a little bit less like the waw. A third issue, I mentioned there were many issues. A third issue is that sometimes people put too much pressure on the letter waw. What do I mean by that? We've taken this with previous lessons where people putting on too much pressure sometimes or too little pressure in a word like قوامون. People might say قوامون, قوامون. They put a lot of pressure, a lot of air coming out when pronouncing the letter waw. The letter waw doesn't have so much pressure, doesn't have so much air coming out in its pronunciation. The way you pronounce it is قوامون, قوامون. A fourth issue that people run into is when the waw has a kasra on it. Sometimes people might pronounce it with an element of the English letter V. And so what they'll say is V, V, V. The letter waw is pronounced as we, much more like the English W than it is the English V. So make sure that your pronunciation, and really listen for it in your pronunciation, say we. If you hear elements of the V like V, try and clarify that. Go back to how it sounds when it has a fatha on it. Wa. It doesn't say wa. You say wa, wu, we. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم لك صمت وعلى رزقك أفطرت. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء أن تغفر لي ذنوبي. ذهب الظمأ وابتلت العروق وثبت الأجر إن شاء الله.
رمضان زمان البركات، رمضان زمان الحسنات، رمضان زمان